Tara, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Thanks, Sabrina. Several questions about Private King. Did his escorts make a mistake not escorting him all the way to the plane and staying to make sure he was on the plane when it took off? And then secondly, do you have a better idea now of what he was doing from the moment he left the customs area until the point he crossed into North Korea? Then I have a couple more.
Sure. So in terms of the escorting to the plane, this was someone that was going, as Private King, I should say, was going from one duty station. He was leaving a deployment and going back and returning home to his home base or his home station. So when he was escorted all the way up, they were only able to escort him up to security. And when he got to the gate, he did confirm that he was near the gate. And in terms of, I'm sorry, your second question was on...
Do you have any better visibility on, there's about half a day where you don't know where he was?
So we have, the Army has launched an investigation into this incident. It's going to be led by Army counterintelligence personnel, and they'll be conducting this in coordination with U.S. Forces Korea. So at this moment right now, I can't tell you more about his whereabouts. That's something that the investigation would reveal.
And then just to see if anything's changed, has North Korea responded to any outreach from either the U.S. or from another country acting on our behalf about his welfare?
Unfortunately, no. We have not heard any communication or correspondence from the North Koreans on this incident. Yeah, I'll go to Jen.
Sabrina, I'm trying to understand still why he was allowed to be unescorted to the gate. He was facing disciplinary measures back here in the States. Are you saying that there was just a sort of an honor code and a trust that he would get on board, or why? I don't understand why there wasn't more monitoring or somebody to fly with him.
Sure. Well, he wasn't in custody when he was going through the airport. He was flying home. So because of that, because he wasn't in custody, he was leaving his deployment and had faced consequences in Korea, had served those served that time that he served in the correctional facility, and then was returning home. So
facing more consequences at home.
He was facing additional administrative action, but I'd leave that to the Army to speak to what exactly that was. But what I can say is that from what we know is that when he was being escorted to the airport, his escorts were not allowed to go beyond security.
And then there's a story out suggesting that there's an Army report indicating that this may have been pre-planned with the North Koreans, that somehow this soldier had been contacted, and that this was part of a plan or an outreach, and that the North Koreans weren't surprised when he crossed. Is that accurate? What can you say?
I haven't seen that report. This is, of course, under investigation. We don't have any inclination of that at this time. But again, we'll let the investigation take its course. But I haven't seen that report, so I couldn't comment on. Again, that's something that the investigation will certainly glean. That's not a characterization that we're using right now.